Welcome everybody to the third Fireside Chat. I want to thank everybody who's been here for every single one of them. We started this in the middle of the pandemic as a way to kind of connect with our donors and connect with our community and really introduce you guys in a more personal way to some of our most inspiring recipients. And just kind of give you guys a peek behind the curtain, let you know how Chive Charities is doing, let you know how all of our recipients are doing, give you updates, just give you information that we generally wouldn't give you in Chive Charities stories or on social media, and just, all really come together during this time. I know some of the states are opening back up, but, as long as you guys are enjoying this, we'll keep doing it. We've got a lot of good feedback so far. And today we are excited to be joined by Miss Joanne Williams, who is a part of Special Kids Care. But before we get into any of that, just wanted to mention that we are going to be doing the Chive Charities Fireside Chat trivia again. So if everybody has their phones, if you text Chive to 494-949, it's going to be a little bit different this time. This time we're doing a true trivia, so there's no cheating. Bobby, you're not going to see everybody's answers. You are going to have 30 seconds to answer every single one of the questions. So you'll get a question that comes up, and you'll either text A, B, C, or D, depending on what you think that answer is going to be. And the sooner that you answer, the more points you get. So whereas before, I think we had like 5 or 6 people that answered everything correctly, this time we're going to have one official winner, and you're going to get a Chive Charities swag bag. So probably worth $1 billion. I don't know. I haven't checked the street value, but we're going to go with that. We're going to have like Chive Charities patch in there, Chive Charities decal, maybe something else, depending on what Jen Holland can find. But yeah, we are excited. We'll just admit a couple more people here that are waiting. And last chance to just go ahead and text Chive to 494-949. You may get something that says, you have to opt in. It may ask you your age and your gender. It's actually hosted on a platform for suicide prevention and mental wellness. So we're just kind of borrowing the software and the platform for right now. But if you text that outside of these hours, you may get somebody that's reaching out to you and asking how you're doing. So don't be surprised there. But okay, I think if everybody's ready, it looks like we've got about 30 participants in here right now, so you got a good chance at winning this trivia. Again, texting Chive to 494-949. When these questions come up, go ahead and text your one-letter answer, A, B, C, or D. Don't text it over and over again, because it will, in fact, it will answer more than one question, and that will count against you. I've actually got, looks like John in here. I'll go ahead and unmute you, John. How you doing, John?
I'm great. I wondered why this Fireside Chat, I was like, why is Brian drinking with Fairy Godmother? Because I didn't read the context at all, because I'm not about the details, but Miss Joe's here.
Joe is here.
The real Fairy Godmother.
The real Fairy Godmother. We're going to introduce her
in
a second. But
I'm doing great. I told Brian somebody stole the Fairy Godmother's cape. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was going to wear it today, but
in true John fashion, it looks like your name is BYOPS. You got a 200-character name, John. You can't figure out how to put your name in.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm kind of playing a game that I want to make it through all of COVID without actually having a login to Zoom.
Nice. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll bet you a lot of people could beat John in this trivia game, but here we go. Let me bring up our screen. I'm going to kind of get everybody out of the way here. All right, it's going to be 5 questions. Again, you got 30 seconds to answer each question. And assuming everybody's ready to go, we're about to start the first one. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. All right, question number 1. How many flash charity campaigns has Chive Charities and the Chive launched since 2011? A, 25, B, 32, C, 35, or D, 38? Kind of tricky. All these questions are going to be a little tricky. And the answer is, hopefully everybody got their answer in.
Oops, I didn't.
Should highlight in a second. There we go, 38. John, isn't that crazy? 38 flash charity campaigns. Kind of crazy to think about when you look at that number, huh?
Yeah. That was my guess.
Nice.
We go big.
We go big. Question number 2. Staying along the same line. During those 38 flash charity campaigns, how much total funding has been raised? This would be just from the flash charity campaigns. You've got 2.7 million, B, 3.3 million, C, 4.1 million, or D, 4.6 million. All right, looks like you got about 5 seconds left to get your answer in. Answer is 3.3 million. So hopefully everybody's still batting 1,000. Just to kind of look at that, what that looks like. Flash charity campaigns from 2011, which was actually before Chive Charities was founded officially. Started with Fluvanna County Rescue, all the way to Henry Flores, which want to congratulate everybody for the Henry campaign, raking $65,000, I believe. We set that goal at $10,000, and you guys absolutely crushed it. Henry is now getting his floor assembled. He's going to be able to get his tiny sink, his tiny toilet. Hey, we're so excited for him, and that's all thanks to you guys.
Have we had a fireside chat since then? I remember we did the soft announcement of Henry the last time.
Correct. This is our first fireside chat since we beat that.
Well, we should all give ourselves a big pat on the back to the Chive Charities team and Brian. Like, let's talk about Henry a little bit, huh?
Right.
Like, we all get together, we rally around, we say we're going to do something big, but, you know, we fail a lot, but we didn't this time. Henry went yard.
You guys absolutely knocked it out of the park. I mean, just to see 1,400 donors. I don't even know what the average is there, but I think we're bringing in more than $150, $200 a minute for a while there, which is, you know, would you expect any less from Chive Nation, from the Chivers and Chive Charities donors? Of course not.
But Brian, does that factor in the, because most of the people on this call are green members, correct?
Yes, everybody. Well, we've got donors of all levels. We got some platinum, we've got some green, we got some gold, silver, and bronze.
But that total doesn't factor in the fact that our silver, bronze, and green donors all contributed to the flooring.
Right. So we donated, what was it, 10,000 or so? I'm looking at Kelly, the exact amount. So add to that the Chive Charities grant that everybody on this phone call was a part of, and you know, you're looking at over $7,000 worth of aid, and that's absolutely incredible. So I'm so glad that, you know, even some of these people are platinum members on this call that got to actually see Henry in action. He's such a ball of energy and was jumping around. We talked to him the day of the Flash Charity campaign when we broke the goal, and I don't think you can really put a leash on that kid or keep him in one place for more than 5 seconds. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Question number 3. Which recipient, born without hip bones, a pelvis, and a tailbone, usually dances nonstop at the Green Gala despite not having legs? For anybody that's been to the Green Gala, I know a lot of people on this call have been. You've probably seen her dancing around. One of our favorites. They're all our favorites, let's be honest.
I know that.
That would be Emberlyn Hammer. Brave Emmy. She is amazing. You'll remember that we held a flash charity campaign for her back in 2016. Not that far away from when we helped out Special Kids Care as well. And you guys knocked it out of the park, raising $39,000 with that flash charity campaign. Add to that the $53,000 grant that Chive Charities granted through your donations, and that's $92,000 to that family. We sent Emberlyn to Disney World. We helped build a ramp outside her house. But you remember she's got caudal regression syndrome, type 4, which just means that she basically, under the T12 vertebrae, she doesn't have a sacrum. She doesn't have like the lower half of her back, which leads to a lot of problems. In her instance, they actually had to amputate below the knees, both her legs, to kind of save her. Reason we're kind of bringing her up, she's actually had some new news. She recently had a few surgeries. So since May 12th, she's had 3 surgeries. And what's basically been happening is her organs are growing in the same rate as, you know, a normal child. However, her body's not growing. So all of her organs are growing together, which is causing an incredible amount of pain. You'll kind of see here, we've got a picture. I talked with Joni, her mother, about how everything was going. She's just really been in a lot of pain. You know, this was taken after one of her surgeries. Poor girl is, you know, such a fighter, such a survivor. And even though she's had 3 surgeries already, over the next couple of weeks, she's going to have 3 more surgeries, or I think 4 more surgeries. So far since the 12th, they've actually elongated her torso 4 inches, which is just in the long run going to just alleviate a lot of that pain, give her heart, her stomach, all of her organs room to grow. And so we're glad that long-term she's going to be better. Obviously, it's devastating to kind of see her in that pain. So any thoughts and well wishes you want to send her, you can go to Brave Emmy or Emberlyn Grace on Facebook and follow her, follow that progress. She's just a little ball of energy as well. And anybody that's been to the gala has seen her kind of doing her spins on the dance floor. I think she kind of owns it.
She's amazing.
Yeah. All right, we've got 2 more questions here. Next question. How many yearly recipient causes has Chive Charities averaged since 2016? A, 52, B, 55, C, 59, or D, 61? Again, the faster you answer, the more points you get. We made this one really tough. You're gonna have to be guessing here. All right, and the answer to the question is D, 61. In fact, if you look at kind of our lower graphic here, every year since 2012, we actually increased the amount of recipients that we helped. From 4 to 21, 2014, we helped 42, on up to 2018, which was a little bit different because we did the charity challenge back then, where we helped dozens of charities in one fell swoop. So we didn't write a story for every single one of those. And so that kind of inflated our numbers. So if you take that out, you know, 2019 was above our average year. And then the amazing thing is today, even through these 2-3 months of pandemic, we've got our largest number of active monthly donors that we've ever had. Well, not ever had, but in the last 4 years, which says a lot. And the really cool thing is, in a testament to all of you guys out there, is we've actually grown 19% in revenue year over year. So what that means is, you know, an extra 20% in revenue, we can help, you know, from 61 people on average that we're helping. That's an extra 12 recipients that we're going to help in 2020, just because of everybody kind of stepping up to the plate in this crazy time. And I know John will be happy about that. I know our programs team is happy about that. That's, 4 to 5 people every single time we meet that we have to say that we would have said no to before, but because everybody stepped up, we can now say yes to them. And again, our mission is to say yes to everybody, but unfortunately we can't. So we're not going to stop until we can help everybody that needs it. So kudos to everybody out there. And a special shout out to everybody that's been with us, our legacy donors. A big part of our huge increase in revenue is not only our normal donors, but also our newly released platinum donor level. We now have, I believe, as of this call, 109 platinum donors, and all we did was send out an email last week about that. So that's bringing in, enough to help, 5 or 6 new recipients throughout the year, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys for all the support. All right, last question. Maybe going to be easy for some of you, maybe not, we'll see. What is the name of the Chive Charities content queen or our content coordinator who writes our stories and runs our social media? Is it A, Angie Cohn, B, Erica Carley, C, Katie Mickey, or D, Jen Holland? Hopefully there's some recognizable names there. She might be on this call.
Sorry.
All right, and the answer is Katie Mickey. She's the one that helps us, from week to week, since we're helping 1 to 1.5 recipients every single week. She's the one that helps us laugh and cry. But wanted to introduce you to those that aren't familiar with the rest of the Chive Charities team. You see my ugly mug here, but Erica Carley, our Director of Strategic Development, half of you probably got an email from her today or yesterday. Kelly Wisniewski, who is our awesome program manager. Jen Holub, all of you have probably heard from her at one point or another. John likes to shut her up, but she's the donor relations manager. Katie, obviously, is our content coordinator. Sada Reyes is our new programs coordinator. And as of yesterday, Matt Granito is our communications coordinator, and he's also on this call. So welcome aboard, Matt.
Welcome, Matt.
Matt,
welcome, Matt.
Yeah. So
I'll show myself out.
Matt is a part of a really cool program called SkillBridge. He's leaving the Navy. He's been kind of, out there for the past few years, out in Washington, aircraft carrier, submarines, doing his thing. And he's joining us, and the last 6 months before he officially becomes a civilian through a Department of Defense program called the SkillBridge internship. So we're happy to have him on board. He's already kind of proven his worth and doing great stuff for us. All right, well, thanks for everybody participating. Potentially, if you are the winner, you maybe already got a text from us. If not, we will go ahead and check the stats and see who won, and we'll be sending out that Chive Charities swag bag very soon. But without further ado, I did want to introduce Miss Jo, who is joining us from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let me see if I can make you a little bit bigger here, Miss Jo. And she is the executive director of the Special Kids Care. And yeah, go ahead and kind of introduce yourself, Miss Jo.
Good.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing so fantastic. Thank you. So great to have you here. Obviously, this is one of the campaigns that really kind of took Chive Nation and really had us fall in love with not only you, but all of the kids out at Special Kids Care facility. I just wanted you to kind of introduce what is Special Kids Care, what was the genesis of it, and what was the need that you guys were trying to fulfill when it was created?
Well, the genesis, was I was teaching families and adults social skills, basic social skills, families and caregivers. And I kind of started asking myself 2 questions, but one was, why am I teaching adults how to answer the phone and answer the door and ask a girl for a date and all those things. So that was my first question. And then at that time, a lot of families talked to me and said, they had sent their child away to an institution. And they said, we didn't want to do that, but we had to support our families and there was no childcare. And I thought, well, surely things have changed. So we did a very unscientific survey just by calling childcares and asking if they had openings and then giving them a little scenario. And generally we were put on the waiting list. So that was the inspiration, but I knew nothing about childcare, I'll be honest. And so took my tax return and rented a 900 square foot house.
Wow.
And said, okay, here we go. And we were full before we opened. We licensed for 12 children. And we actually, the word got out, we actually had parents come by and say, what can we do to get you open? We need you. And so within 6 months, we rented the house across the street, and I still kept my other job. And basically, we volunteered, all of us, at Special Kids. And then finally just took a leap of faith and said, I can't do both of these things, so I have to choose. And so that was our beginning. And then we had 2 houses across the street, and it was so sad because the kids would sit at the windows and wave at each other.
Oh my gosh.
And so from there, we rented a space until we got funding for our center. So we're just really grassroots from the beginning.
I mean, a lot of nonprofits start that way, and it sounds like you guys are kind of bootstrapping and making it work, which we can identify with. And then you kind of fast forward to about 2015. What was the financial situation like back then? What was the building that you guys were in? What did that look like? What were the needs for you guys?
Well, I know John was walking through thinking this is pretty sad. And really, it was. Our playground was so pitiful, and we did everything to try to make it better, but it was kind of a dirt lot with a dirt hill for a slide and broken down swings. And we are always, honestly, a wing and a prayer. There's just no denying that. And there have been many, many times when I've just said, can't do this anymore, guys. We're going to have to close. But we really felt isolated. And I think for me especially, it was just feeling isolated. Like nobody really understood what we were doing, understood what our kids are about, and why we were needed. So when you guys came in, it was such an affirmation for us. It just put some steel in our spines and said, you know what? This is the right path, and we're going to just keep fighting and stay with it. So I think that was just huge for us.
And I know that before we had anything to do with you guys, there was a little chapter, Chive Nation chapter called OK Chive, helped refer Chive Charities. How did that connection all start, and how did your relationship start with OK Chive?
I'm sorry for laughing. I just remember Ollie and JR came in, and they said, we're from the Chives. And I'm like, is this a cooking show? Who are these guys? What is going on? Because I had no clue. And so then they tried to explain who they were. And so then from then on, I think they just wrapped their arms around us, really, and took us in. So many things: Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, Christmas presents for the kids, our musical, they laid the sidewalk, and And I think sometimes just stepping in and giving us a little pat on the back or a swift kick and saying, come on, stand up straight, you can do this. But that's where really it began, was with Ollie and JR coming into the office and introducing themselves. And then, of course, when the playground build started, oh yeah, Shelly, yes, Shelly made the construction guys cry. That's
yeah. And I know that they kind of introduced you to Chive Charities and the Chive, and you guys went ahead and filled out that application. I know John and the rest of the team kind of saw that. I was like, wow, this OK Chive has kind of gone above and beyond. But you know what? I think they referred you for a reason. It's like, hey, we got to bring in the big guns because there's a lot more to be done. And so, you know, you get introduced to Angie and to John. They come in, they interview you. You probably have no idea like what's going on. You're doing a video, and then, you know, John kind of comes back, and after talking to you guys and seeing the big need, he says, you know what, this one we're going $100,000. And everybody in the room goes, I don't know about that, John. Like, that's one of the biggest goals we've ever had. I don't know if it's going to work. But we put together that video. We're set to launch. I just want to know what was going on through Laura and your and like the staff's heads when John came with this. You know, we're going to set it at $100,000. What were you guys thinking?
We were kind of thinking, well, we just couldn't believe it, actually. I know when he first came, I mean, we were really scared, nervous when he first came, and then we had so much fun. But for us to grasp that, and then when the campaign started, I just still remember sitting in the office, and Stacy was there, and Shelly, and Sunshine, and Laura, and they just kept hugging me because I was just floored. It was just beyond anything I could have ever imagined. It was amazing. It just still feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
I still think about it.
So, you know, we always get nervous when John writes this incredible story. My brother Javier was actually the one that was out there recording some of the video, put together that video that is still to this day one of my favorites. And, you know, we hit that publish button, and we kind of like lob it out into the world and say, you know, do what you do. And I think, you know, that was when a lot of those donations started coming in fast and furious. I think it was within the first 7 hours, I think we already hit $100,000. So we hit the goal. As that day was going on, what were you guys doing? I think you were sitting with some of the OK Chivers, and I'm assuming hitting the refresh button.
We were screaming. I was crying. Oh yeah. It was, like I said, I was just stunned. I was just way beyond anything that we could ever have dreamt of. Anything. And, you know, gratitude is really humbling. And even today, every day I think of you guys. I think of all of you. I walk outside and look at the playground and the kids, and the playground is still just as beautiful. And it's just like every place I look at Special Kids, you guys have left an imprint on all of us and on our daily lives and on the children. And it's just an unforgettable thing.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever done that for us before.
Incredible.
So
I do also want to ask, like, you know, as these donations are coming in, we hit the goal, like what happens next? Because I know that not only was it the monetary donations, but, you know, you have OK Chive coming in and doing some things after the fact. Was it true that, you know, what part of the story that John wrote was, you know, there's this beat up computer and, you know, somebody reading that story ended up donating the computer?
I didn't catch the last part, but.
So basically there were more than just the monetary donations. There was a donation of a computer at some point. People were coming in and donating their service.
We had like chivers from everywhere, and we had this incredible work day and just masses of people. And everybody worked hard. I mean, putting up fence and helping dig post holes and just tons and tons of work, lots of work. And some people, of course, had to test out the new equipment. And some people had to be in charge of the construction workers or the playground people, made sure they were doing their jobs. Right, Shelley? So, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the monetary donation. It was just that outpouring of love and support. And then our parents came too. And on the day of the dedication, it was beautiful just to watch all of that interaction. And everybody playing together and talking together. It was amazing. It was amazing. There are no other people like this group of chivers. There just aren't. It's just such goodness. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I love seeing kind of the work in progress pictures. I was trying to share my screen so could show those, but if everybody went to the link in the story to kind of see that. I love seeing Jeremiah kind of cut the ribbon with Ollie right there. That's actually a photo that we have on our donation screen, and it's been there for years. I know Jen gets tired of kind of seeing his face when she goes to the donate page. I love you, Ollie. But yeah, it was just an incredible outpouring of love and service, and just like you said, it gave you a backbone and kind of validation that like everything that you guys were doing was worth it and just incredible. So with that, you kind of fast forward, and how is special kids care kind of shifted? What has that kind of allowed you guys to do, and what does SKC look like today?
I think it allowed us, first of all, to grow. It also kind of put us out there to the community and built awareness of our program and what we do. And then I think just little by little, I mean, it somehow that validated us. I don't know if we should have needed validation, but that really offered that to us. And so there's more community awareness ever since then. For the staff, I think for me, just feeling that, we weren't by ourselves, that our kids actually, I mean, I've said this before, I know, but that our kids matter. Our kids really matter, and our parents. And so I think that was really, really a big thing. And we still struggle. I'm not going to say we don't. This whole COVID-19 thing has been really a harsh thing, but we're getting through it and we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, how have the families and the children been affected since, this pandemic has gone down? I'm assuming you guys have had to close your doors, at least, albeit temporarily. What's that looking like? Or are you guys an absolute essential business where, like, I know people are depending on you. So how have you kind of responded and kind of reacted to everything?
Well, we stayed open because we are an essential business. And our population dropped from 40 kids to 12 kids. So that was really, really, really hard. But we stayed with that. And our teachers, I give them kudos because they hung in there. I mean, I said, guys, here's your option. You can, you don't have to do this, but they have stayed. And then one of our parents was diagnosed with COVID, and we set up really, well, we had to change a lot of things. So nobody was allowed past the front door, and I love these pictures. But so, you know, so it's changed that. And then when one of our parents was diagnosed, we did close for 2 weeks. We had some people come in and just completely sanitize the center. And then when we reopened, then it was perfect timing, because it was the same time that our parents started to come back out of shelter. So we were all, it was good timing. And so most of our kids are back. We still have some that are out. And so we're hanging in there. Yeah. I'm still actually not allowed to go out and about, according to everybody, because I'm older. So
somehow that tells me it's not stopping you.
So that's kind of tough, but I still sneak in, and I stand far away and I wave at all the kids because I can't stand it, you know, but I am trying to be a little bit more careful, you know, just sneak in when I can.
As we see,
I love these
bits of Jeremiah kind of cutting the ribbon and officially opening the playground. I was just wondering, are there any updates to like Jeremiah, Charles, like all the kids that everybody fell in love with that story?
Jeremiah is doing so well. His mom just sent me some pictures of him planting a garden, and he's working really, really hard on taking some small steps. He has his electric wheelchair. He is doing really, really well. His family is such a beautiful family, and they're doing well. Charles is in school right now he's home, but he started school. And he's really blossomed, really blossomed. Wish I had some pictures for you, but so he doesn't come every day like he used to, but he's doing really, really well in school. Let's see, which of the other children, who do you want to know about?
I think that's both
You're
of
my
them.
sister. She's the bomb. She's an amazing girl. I'm so proud of her too.
That's so fantastic.
Such a good big sister.
And I think one of the lasting images was, you know, obviously John built that story around the loneliest swing set, you know, ever in the United States. And one of the coolest things was seeing Jeremiah get his new ADA accessible swing, which we're kind of seeing right there. Yeah. Which, if that doesn't bring a smile to your face, I don't know what will.
And I have to tell you this story really fast. We had a little boy, and I think John may have met him, but his wheelchair was really different. He couldn't sit up at all. He had to lay flat. So everywhere he went, and he had this little green stuffed toy that he kept with him all the time. And we found out that he loved the swing. And when he was on the swing, he would just smile and smile and smile. And that was his joy. And we did lose him the end of last year. But every time I would see him swinging and that big smile on his face, I just thought of you guys and just wanted you to know that because of you, he had that opportunity and that gift. And it was really nice. So just wanted to tell you that story.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That's the toughest part of
hard.
Our job as well. Just the people that you guys are helping, the people that we're helping. We look at it in the same way. You know, we were lucky enough to help dozens and dozens, hundreds of recipients before we lost one. And then it seemed like when it rains, it pours, because we lost, I think 3 in the matter of 2 months after never losing one for 2 or 3 years. And so that kind of hit us hard. But, you know, when you step back from everything and you look at it, it's like we made their life so much better for the time that they were here. And the amazing thing that we see with our recipients, like the Griffin-Steins, like the Steins, and, you know, we've seen this half a dozen times. If a child passes away, whatever grant items that we purchased for that family, we see them paying it forward, racking it to someone else in need. You know, this $40,000, $50,000 vehicle, they could turn around and sell it, but they were touched and their lives were changed in such a way that they want to pay that forward and like make that ripple effect. And so we totally feel you there. Like, it's so tough, but it makes me smile that
It is,
guys.
Even there, you guys made a difference in that child's life.
Yeah.
He may not have been one of your recipients, but you still really made a difference in his life, because he really had, he couldn't really move anything but his eyes, you know, and you know, his face, and that was it. But he would just light up on that swing. So whether you knew it or not, you really did make a difference for him. So
Well, he's on that swing set in the sky. So
yeah, he is. Yes.
Well, any last thoughts that you have for the Chive Nation donors, the Chive Charities donors here? John, Jen, Erica, Kelly, the rest of the Chive Charities team, anything you want to share?
Keep doing what you're doing, please. I think one of the things that, you know, I'm trying to say this politely and tiptoe around it a little bit, but the thing that helped me fall in love with you guys was that you were my neighbors. You were people I would meet every day, and I could just be myself. And that meant a lot to us. It really, really did. Is that you met us where we were without judgment. And I think that, you know, don't forget about us. We still need you. We still need that encouragement and love from you guys. And just keep helping the underdog, because it really does change lives. And I love you guys so much. I just love you. You know that, I hope.
We love you so much too. Can't wait to see you at all the, you know, subsequent green galas. Hopefully you can find that cape again. John, do you have any last thoughts? Anything that you want to share? Memories of the
that would be any more articulate than Miss Jo already is. You know, it's just nice to hear her talk. It's real, you know, but she talks about the fundamentals of what the Chive works, and that's the community. I mean, don't forget that, you know, it wasn't me that walked in the front door the first time, you know, with that bravado, like, hey, we're here to help you. And that was the Chive community just looking out for each other. And that's basically I mean, I always say it all the time, we don't do politics, but when our forefathers, you know, had one thing in mind when they created the United States, and that was the idea of like neighbors helping neighbors, because they didn't know what big cities were or anything, but everyone was a farmer, you know, and you just got to help each other out. And I think that still rings true today. It's how we earn the right to call ourselves citizens, just by helping our neighbor. And that's what the Chive community did here. And I'm just a small part of it, but it's just nice to hear someone, you know, I'm glad we did all this good and that it still stands today. But yeah, this has been really, I've just cried like 3 times.
Oh, I love you, John. I still remember John singing Little Green Tractor too.
John will bust out some random knowledge that you wouldn't think he knows, or songs that you I mean, with the Roz campaign, he started to bust out the is it the Ariel look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Like I didn't remember any of that, and John's like word for word keeping up with Rosalind.
I grew up with sisters.
There you go.
But
Well, we have a house full right now. I think almost, we're full inclusion, so we have several sibling groups. But really, because we really do try to keep a little ratio of kids who have special challenges and kids who, well, all kids do, but who don't on paper anyways. So, but right now we're really, almost all of our children right now have some kind of special challenge. And great bunch of kids, so a lot of fun. Never dull.
Yeah, we were so happy to kind of connect here with all the donors, with you, Miss Joe. Tell everybody at SKC, that we love them. OK Chive, thanks for bringing this to our attention and knocking it out of the park time and time again. With that, want to raise glasses to all the little things, the big things, to the people that matter the most. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.